Let's go to Daniel in Rockford. What's up, Daniel?
Not much. How are you doing, Dr. John?
We're partying, brother.
Good. Thank you for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. What's up?
Well, I've got this thing I've dealt with for as long as I can remember, and I've been thinking about when in preparation to make the call, and I'm trying to describe it as clearly as possible. But basically, whenever I need to speak up for myself or perhaps correct someone, I usually have a severe anxiety and get like a fight or flight, or freeze response. And I usually don't, and I'll just kind of exit the situation without speaking up for myself or even for others. And it's led to some really disappointing situations and just really silly things like that shouldn't have to happen. That I don't know why I can't do it. So I need your help.
Give me an example of a situation that you struggle with your response.
It ranges from very basic interactions with people. If it's been as bad as if I've been at a restaurant and I've ordered something and they give me the wrong food. Instead of even speaking up and saying, "Hey, I didn't order this," or something like that, I'll just eat it and pay for it and not speak up. Or it's been a family situation where I had, cause I'm married without children, but I've had someone in my family that did something that offended my wife, and she asked me to deal with it, and I didn't know how to deal with it, and so I backed down, which she's been gracious with me about, but it's not something I want to.
What did she ask you to do? Fight some dude in a parking lot, or call somebody and say that was offensive?
No, just address something that was inappropriate that someone. I'm trying not to go into details, but basically, there was something one of my family members did made her very uncomfortable.
Okay.
And
gotcha.
And I should have addressed it, and I was nervous because it made me uncomfortable as well.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out how to address it and deal with it. And
who told you that how you feel doesn't matter, or is a burden? Somebody's put that in your head or in your body. Who gave you that?
I guess it has come from my parents sometimes. I know when I was younger, sometimes I had issues with making decisions, or I would say I would basically be discouraged from liking something, or hey, I like this, and no, you don't really like that. You just think you do.
Gosh.
And so
I can hear you right now, Daniel, trying to defend them. And you're defending them because you still think you're wrong. Even though hey, I really want to play basketball. Basketball's stupid. You should play football. Any idiot plays basketball. Only real men play football. And in your head, your 6-year-old little head, you think, no, I want to play basketball, but that guy's big or she's really smart. I guess I'm the crazy one. Does that ring true?
Yeah.
And you find yourself out in a football field with pads on, doing something you don't want to be doing, and now you're getting hit and hurt and whatever. Because it's not something you're interested in. And
right.
Were you responsible for the emotional well-being of the adults in your home? Were there things you didn't say because dad would get mad or mom would fly off the handle?
Not quite, but looking back on it, I did see, how do I say this? I did see that, I'll say my mom had a strong emotional response to she was really overprotective of my brother and I.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I don't know how to say this right, but if my father had overcorrected us in her opinion, she would really defend us,
mm-hmm.
or sometimes it was just like I would see that there was a strong like emotional like conflict between the two of them,
Yep.
and so I would try to smooth things out. And also, my mom is kind of one of those kind of buffering kind of personalities where she likes to keep the peace with everyone and try to keep calm. So I kind of inherited some of that from her as well.
Well, you didn't inherit as much as you just absorbed it, right? It just became, it was the air you breathe. Your job is to make sure everybody else is okay. And somewhere along the way that became, you value the feelings of others more than your own. And in fact, that has, you see yourself in the world as a burden, as a bother. And what's strange about that is, or what's unfortunate about that is you know what a restaurant really, really wants? To get things right. And if they mess something up and somebody tells them with dignity and integrity and respect, hey man, you guys brought me the chicken salad. I actually ordered the ribeye, and like, oh my gosh, let me make that right. You're actually helping them out because they want you to leave really happy. See what I'm saying? And so it's actually taking from them. Same as your wife, right? A family member, one of your family members does something or says something that crosses a line in her minds, and she says, I can't be a part of this. I need you to help. And you're unable to help because, well, that person's feelings are more important than my feelings. And now since I'm married, that person's feelings are more important than me and my wife's feelings, right? So I want you to stop beating yourself up over this first, okay?
Okay.
This isn't a moral failure, and it's not a character failure, okay? I want you to start thinking of this as a skills challenge, okay? Don't, if you're bad at basketball, it's not because you're a bad person. It's because you haven't shot a lot of shots. And so moving forward, you know where this comes from. You have a peacekeeping mom who also fought all your battles for you, and you have an overcorrecting dad. You know where this comes from. Now the word I want you to keep in your mind over and over and over is this word called practice. That's it. Practice. Okay? I want you to identify that discomfort when you have to have excuse me, I give you a 20 out of 10. I want you to feel that real quick and then practice saying something. And here's what we're doing. We're just teaching our body, because your body has put a GPS pin in. If you push back, it's a nuclear response, and you need to teach your body that that's an inaccurate pin. That the place that it has pinned is no longer there. It's actually moved to another place. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense, because it's a very visceral response,
Yes, but then that visceral response turns into inaction, which turns into shame, which then heightens your body's detection system for any other awkward situation, which then you freeze again, right? And you feel this thing just spinning, and it starts spinning faster and faster and faster, right?
Exactly.
And then your wife says, will you help me out with one of your disgusting family members? And you're like, I can't. To which your wife responds frustratingly, and then you feel shame because you know you should say something because it's your family and you don't. And then all of a sudden, the next situation, you start getting anxious about being anxious because you're going to another family thing, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's pull the string on all that. All that. I'm just going to practice. And it might be as silly as getting one or two buddies who know you and love you, and you say, hey, what I need, this is going to be ridiculous, but Uncle so-and-so said this to my wife, and I got to say something, and I've never done this. I'm going to practice this, okay? It may be practicing this with your wife. And spoiler alert, I do this with my wife sometimes. Hey, I'm about to have a hard conversation at work or with a colleague or something. I'm thinking about saying these 4 things, and she'll say, absolutely not. Don't say that second thing. You'll sound like an idiot, or you're trying to fight or something. And I'll be like, oh, good. So why don't you just practice? Practice, okay? Take the shame of I'm a failure and I'm a loser and I'm always going to be a wimp. Take that off, okay? And practice this. Here's another thing that's very unpopular, okay? It's unpopular by certain members of different media ecosystems, okay? But I want you to start exercising. Do you exercise regularly?
No, I don't.
Okay. Whether that's going to a gym and signing up for like a local YMCA and getting one of the personal trainers for $14 a shot, or going to a local jiu-jitsu gym, or getting a pair of running shoes and just committing to doing a 5K or something, here's what we're looking for. Global confidence in Daniel.
Okay.
I don't want you to like go, you're not going to go take Krav Maga so you can fight everybody in your neighborhood. That's not what I'm
Right.
saying. But what I am saying is you desperately lack physical confidence. And I often tell young men especially, you work and train and get in shape and lift weights so that you never have to do anything with it. That's why. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that you walk a little bit taller and somebody, one of your family members does it. And by the way, if you're walking down the street and somebody like disrespects you, bro, just walk to the other side, right? I'm not talking about getting in street fights, acting like an idiot. But there is, hey, we will not be a part of this family get together because Uncle so-and-so continues to disrespect my wife. And I've mentioned it to him, continues to do it. We are opting out. We're going to the beach. So y'all have fun. It's developing that confidence. And unfortunately, I have not seen anywhere where confidence is gained by just talking more and more and more and more and more. I've only seen true confidence gained in doing hard things step by step by step by step and continuing to push that boundary more and more and more. It may be a yoga practice for you, but finding something that's hard with your body and leaning into that, okay? So we got two things. One, I want you to set up scenarios where you have to practice, okay? Excuse me, I ordered a large. Or excuse me, whatever. And I want you to begin to move in your body. If you will do that for 60 days, I want you to loop back on me and tell me how things are going. Will you do that?
Yes.
Will you commit to those two things?
I will.
Do not, under any circumstances, walk into a gym and try to beefcake it out, dude. Don't do that. Or
I definitely won't be able to do that anyways.
Yeah. I have a buddy who did that once. He went to the gym and was just tried to like Arnold Schwarzenegger it, and he couldn't wipe properly for 3 weeks, right? Because he's just so sore. Get with somebody who knows what they're doing, or just knock on the door of a local jiu-jitsu gym and say, hey, I want to learn this art and teach me this, right? And we're going to go slow, and you're going to invest that money, and that investment is going to be in developing confidence in Daniel. And that I'm telling you right now, that confidence will ripple through your work life, through your marriage, through parenting, through your families, through how you walk through your community. Man, you will end up being such a radiant gift to those in your life. Is that fair?
Yes, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You got it, man. All right, you got 60 days. And by the way, anybody listening to this, whether you're 75 or 65 or 35 or 15, I wish there was a way we could talk ourselves into confidence. But our bodies know. Our bodies know. And we end up just being chihuahuas just barking. I cannot recommend enough having some sort of practice on the daily where you move your body, especially lifting weights, especially engaging in some sort of physical competition with other people, especially doing hard things. You will see confidence grow in every other area of your life, and not idiotic confidence, not, oh yeah, bro, not that kind of confidence, but yes, sir, no, sir kind of confidence. Strength and commitment kind of confidence. Get good with a bow and arrow. Get good with a weed eater. Get good with things outside. And often those things can be used for service too. And then just practice and feel your body the whole way through when you're practicing. Good for you, my brother Daniel. Let this be the day that it all changes. Let this be the day that it all changes.